Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CricBlog Podcast's preview of each team for the upcoming IPL. In this segment, it's a very interesting preview because it's that of the Royal Challengers Bangalore. This franchise always makes for a very interesting discussion. Nash, I can see you're smiling away there. What are your immediate impressions about RCB and what's your playing 11 for them?
If I'm bowling to that batting department, I don't have high hopes for myself. Let's be honest. I mean, if I'm bowling to Virat Kohli, ABD, and Maxwell, there's no place to hide, and
that can cause a lot of damage.
A lot of damage. Yes, I mean, once they come together, I mean, that's scary. That's a scary thought for a bowler. If you are someone like Charbel Coorey or Sam Curran, how do you bowl to them? How do you possibly bowl to them? Where do you bowl?
Yeah, but that's been the thing with RCB nearly every season, hasn't it? They've had amazing sides, but they've never translated it into success.
It's because of their bowling. Let's be honest, it's because of their bowling.
That's going to be the problem this season as well, isn't it?
Definitely. I mean, they can hit, even 300 runs they can hit, and their bowling will give that away. They have that talent in them. Let's call it that.
Yes.
No offense to anyone. I think their bowling department, their bowlers are excellent red ball bowlers, and we will discuss that later. But
agree with you
when it comes to white ball, that's where it starts getting shaky. So, and first game they are playing against Mumbai Indians. Come on, they are going to win that, not because they're RCB, but because they are Mumbai Indians. They always start slow. So they always lose first couple of games. They like to hustle their opponents. So, I think all other teams start thinking, oh, this is our year. And then bang, Mumbai Indians wins 7-7. So it'll be fun now. But coming back to RCB, I think let's start with our playing 11. You go first this time. What's your playing 11 for RCB?
Yep. I would go Devdutt Padikkal.
Yep.
In terms of what Kohli will do, I know there was talk that he'll want to open this season. But in terms of what I would do, I'd probably have Azharuddin opening with Padikkal. He's been magnificent this year in domestic cricket, and he's a very, very good talent.
Yep.
And then what you don't want to do is, you don't want to weaken your number 3 spot if you put Kohli at opener. So I'd have Kohli there. I'd have Maxwell at 4. I think if you don't bat Maxwell in the top 4, you're wasting him.
Definitely.
Because an area where RCB struggled last season was in the middle overs. They weren't scoring at a very good high rate. It's only 6 to 7 runs per over in that period. Maxwell in that period, giving him more time to bat, you can make really good use of him. So that means I would have De Villiers at 5. Now, that'd be a little bit controversial to some because you've got one of the great white ball players in history batting at 5. But when he came in, I think last season before the 12th over, RCB lost a lot of their games. It was when he came in after that, he could be that wonderful finisher for them. So I'd have him at 5. I'd actually have Sachin Baby there as well.
That's a good shot. Too,
because he's shown a lot of promise. And he can provide some real impetus there down the order, which is very, very important. It's an area where RCB have struggled in over the years. So I'd have him in the side. I'd have Washington Sundar there at 7. Kyle Jamieson at 8. Kane Richardson at 9. Navdeep Saini and Chahal. Now, I've left Dan Christian out. I'd love to see Dan Christian play throughout the year, but I've left him out of my original 11 for the key reason that RCB need as much bowling depth as possible, especially at the death, and Kane Richardson can be that man who can nail a Yorker and sort of limit the damage there at the back end. I think
Did you say Saini and Chahal at 10 and 11?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, because Saini is capable of maybe doing the job there at the back end as well.
Yeah.
Because Jamieson, I think he worries me at the death.
Okay.
He's a fantastic red ball bowler. He doesn't have a lot of T20 experience. I don't think any T20 experience outside of New Zealand at all.
Yeah, that's
so. Yeah, I think it was a desperation move by RCB to bring him in because they missed out on a few other players, notably Chris Morris, after releasing him. So I think their auction, particularly in that area, wasn't great. So, but as a result, I think you have to play Jamieson there and try and utilize him in the power play in middle overs, and then have Kane Richards there for the death.
Yeah. That's a good side. That's a good balanced side, I would say. And
what
now,
would you have as your 11?
coming on to my playing 11, I think obviously I'll start with Kohli and Padikkal, because I think Kohli has already given statements where he has said that he will open in the IPL. So
in terms of your preference, if you were manager of that team, would you have him opening?
Yes, because I like
who would you have at 3?
I like to see him opening, and then I'll have Maxwell at 3, because we all know what happens when Maxwell has balls in his bag.
What if he's in the first over?
Sorry?
What if he's batting in the first over of the innings? They lose a wicket in the first over.
I think he can still do the job. I think he can still do the job. I think we have seen him do the job. He knows, we all know that he can do the job. So it's only a matter of himself believing in his ability that, he can play those 19 overs and get a big score. Because once he gets going, there's no stopping him. He is the big show. Let's be honest. As much as whatever he doesn't show up every time, but when he shows up, he goes big. And that's why I'll have him at number 3, AB de Villiers at number 4, and then 5, 6 are a bit controversial, where at number 5 I've either put Finn Allen or Dan Christian. If they want to go with the fast bowling medium pace option, I'll go Dan Christian, and he can obviously bat as well. And then number 6, I've put Mohammad Azharuddin, but I'll put Mohammad Azharuddin at 5, and then Dan Christian at number 6. Then number 7 would be Sundar, number 8 would be Jameson, number 9 Siraj, number 10 Saini, and number 11 Chahal. Obviously Chahal and Saini are locked in pretty much, and then it's only again if someone like Sachin Baby plays, that's an Indian option, then that makes room for another foreign players. So I think Kane Richardson might slot in, but to start with, I'll go with this 11. And it looks controversial with Dan Christian or Finn Allen playing, but I think Finn Allen is in form right now from what we have seen in the New Zealand T20s and one days. So and then obviously Dan Christian being Dan Christian, he's a veteran of the game, isn't he?
I love Dan Christian.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
want to see him play. I would actually, really consider him for the Australia team. But I think RCB's biggest concern is the back end bowling. That's why I try to put as much experience there as possible, and Kane Richardson is capable of that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why I would have Kane first up. But
so is that what you would say their strength is this time around, is the top order and the...
Oh yeah, look, it always is with them. But even so now with Maxwell, look, Maxwell's had a few tough years in IPL. Most notably, last campaign was a very poor one for him. But we all know what he's capable of, and if he fires, RCB are going to be putting on mammoth totals.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a big strength of theirs. It's their batting. But
that's the same for me.
That hasn't changed. Yeah. It's always been the case for them. Yeah.
I mean, I was looking at some teams from the past. They have had McCullum, they have had Chris Gale. I mean, and still they haven't won it. So there's something, and I think that's their bowling department, isn't it? Those two aspects are there.
That's where I think their bowling department doesn't inspire me with a lot of confidence this season whatsoever. Last season in the UAE, I thought they had a good plan. They looked better with the ball. Their bowlers actually won them quite a few games. It was actually their bowling attack that won them some games. They knocked over KKR very cheaply. They defended 160 odd against SRH early in the season. The bowling attack. I really look at that team. I worry the back end. They could score 230 and they'll lose.
Yeah, and even their options are not really that. I don't want to say talented, but they're not up to the mark, where their bowling option is someone like Daniel Sams.
If this 11 was playing a red ball game, very good.
Yeah,
Siraj, Saini, Jamison.
Yeah.
But I think another concern for them is Chahal's form.
Yeah.
He hasn't been in great form lately. They need him firing quickly.
Yeah.
That's why I really worry about RCB this year as well, because amazing batting, but that's been the case before. We've seen it. I wonder what's going to be different about them this year. I hope for their fans. I hope for someone like ABD, who's one of my favorite ever cricketers, that they have success this year.
Yeah.
But
so if someone like Zampa comes in, then if Chahal's not performing, who do you not play?
It depends throughout the season who is in form and who isn't, I guess.
But you can't drop ABD or Maxwell at any point, even if they are not in form.
You can drop those two. It'd probably be someone between like Kane Richardson and Jamison. Like I think Jamison is not undroppable, even at his massive price. If he's not performing, you have to make the call. And just leave him out. And whatever's best for the team.
All right. Next bit about RCB. This is where the controversy might come in. Where will they finish?
I don't have them in my top 4. I'll say that, because I think you need good bowling. You need good bowlers to help you win games, particularly at the death. I think they're going to leak far too many runs in death overs. I think before Chris Morris came into the side last year, you even saw how they struggled in that period a little bit. Now that he's not there, I think it's a big, big worry.
So number 7? Because you already have CSK at 5 and Punjab Kings at 6. So that leaves 7 and 8.
I'm really, really worried about them finishing bottom, which is a massive call.
If they're finishing number 8 with that batting order, I mean, it's a real shame. It's a real shame, but it's possible. It is. Is my opinion. Because look, I just worry about their death bowling. I could be very, very wrong. I'm gonna admit it now before the tournament and say if RCB make the 4 or they don't finish bottom, credit to them. They're very capable of doing something special this season with the batting that they've got. But I think the bowling, they're gonna leak a lot of runs, in my opinion. All right. As a result, I think they'll finish bottom. I never like to predict who'll finish bottom because I think all the 8 teams are very capable. But I think if I had to choose, I think RCB. I'll say they'll finish 2nd in the ladder.
Really?
Yes, okay. I do think that. With
That's
someone
a big
like,
difference.
I think it's Maxwell's redemption season. I think he'll redeem himself this time. So
look, even if he does and they score 230, I don't have the confidence they'll defend it. There's the problem.
Even I don't. But
look, you have to give them a chance. At the end of the season, I'll look like the biggest idiot.
You have,
at the end of the season, I could look like the biggest idiot saying
both of us. That makes us two. So for all I know, I'm predicting number 2 and they'll finish number 8. They won't win any games or something like that. But you have to give them a chance at least. And someone like Jameson, who has a lot to prove, someone like Siraj, who's a completely different bowler, I think this time with so much experience in the past 4 months in his different kinds of experience, not only cricketing experience, but he's a different bowler mentally. So I think it depends what he does. So for all we know, this bowling department might fire straight away. So I'm giving them a chance.
If it does, and they can hold their own at the death, limit the damage as much as possible, they could do some serious damage this year. I might, I'm going to hold my hand up and say, look, if I get it wrong, I'm going to say.
So I'm going to say finishing second. Finishing second, losing in the first qualifier, winning the eliminator, and reaching the finals. And then I don't know what happens from there.
Luck to them. I hope that deep down, I want to see them do well. They've got amazing fans. They're very passionate supporters. But, if you're going to leak, there's times where, 90 off the last 6 overs is not safe when RCB is bowling and stuff like that. And if that's the case, it's going to be very hard to develop consistency. You're going to drop a lot of games from losing positions potentially. So let's see how they go.
Let's be honest, I'm predicting a lot here. And RCB getting in the finals, for all I know, I'll get laughed at on the internet at all times, and this will come to bite me.
Listen, I think I'm more at risk than you are because, if the RCB don't do well, you can say, but look at their batting lineup. I'm right to predict that they'll finish high because of their batting. But if RCB do well, then I'm going to be looked at and say,
it's always
and then we make
such a thing with RCB.
I think that's the exciting thing about the IPL, right? Any team is capable of beating someone else on the day, and RCB with their batting.
That's right.
Very, very good. Yeah.
And I think first game, they'll win against MI.
NY don't win their first game.
No,
so
never.
If they can win that, that'll be a good start for them and they can build off that.
Yeah, definitely. All right. That is it for RCB team preview ahead of the 2021 IPL season. Some controversial team selection, some controversial discussions where they will finish in the season. So really looking forward to the season and really looking forward to RCB doing well finally. And look forward to our other episodes of other teams. We still got 5 more to go, I believe.
Absolutely.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.